Are you interested in the carnivore diet or simply what happens to your body on it? Are you interested in maybe weight loss or getting rid of gut problems or anything like that? Well, the carnivore diet's eating only animal products. And for the last 45 days, that's what I've been doing. But for the last 15 days, I went to the hardest level where you can only eat beef and lamb. And I want to come back and I wanted to show you what's been happening the next 15 days. And I'm also going to do another 15 days for a total of 60 days of carnivore and 30 days of only beef and lamb. All right, so if you're interested in the results and what exactly happens, you're in the right place. Let's go inside and check it out. Why did I go on this diet? I spent 15 years in Navy Special Operations, and I used to be a very high performer physically. And what happened once I got out of the military was I only focused on my business. I began sitting at a desk for 12 hours a day, working and just trying to perform there. And what happened was, at the end of the day, I'd get off and eat whatever, and I'd have a few beers. And after several years, this all added up. I had put on what I wanted to say was 60 pounds, which still terrifies me. But after being on this carnivore diet for a while, I think it was probably more than that. So, what happened? I was on vacation for Thanksgiving. Myself and the kids were down at the beach playing, enjoying ourselves, and I was kind of wanting to interact with them more. And on the way back to the house after playing on the beach, it's about 5 stories of stairs on the way up to get back to the house. After about the first story, I could feel my heart pounding and my lungs trying to gasp for air. By the time I was up to that second set of stairs, forget it. I felt like I might as well have been sprinting for my life. My heart was beating, everything hurt, and my lungs were burning. And that's when I realized that I needed to change. And so I started this journey a while back, and it's made a ton of difference, as you'll see in here in the videos and from the effects. So with the carnivore journey, the first 15 days is an adaptation period to get fat adapted. And I'm sure, as you've heard from everybody, it's not the most glorious. Your gut and everything is pretty crazy, and you're pretty much diuretic because your body doesn't know how to process it, and your colon doesn't know how to keep water in your body like it's supposed to. Once you get over that phase, the next 2 weeks aren't too bad. Your energy starts increasing, and everything that I was doing was feeling better. My mind was feeling more focused, and it was just great overall. But either way, you can check out the full cap of those in the other videos. So 45 days of carnivore. It's not all been glory and victory. In the last 2 weeks, we've had a lot more school, a lot more homeschooling, a lot harder assignments that the kids have needed help on, and we had a little vacation in there. So during the vacation, that's where you get into the fun part, right? Whenever, I don't know how you are with vacations, but whenever we go on vacations, I like to eat out. It's a little more splurge time and everything. And so there was a lot of opportunities to do that, not as many without COVID, but it was fortunate that I had meal prepped and everything was ready. So I was able to stick on the diet. And even those other temptations like going out to ice cream with the kids were easy to avoid because I don't have a sugar craving anymore. So that's been a wonderful part of it. But if you're going through this diet, keep going, you can do it. Carnivore diet. So with these last 15 days, it's been really interesting, and I don't know where to put this in the mental or physical, but in the time frame, I started getting really bad headaches. I wasn't having a problem with energy or anything like that, but usually I get up at 5 o'clock, I'll go and work out and run and everything, and then by 7 o'clock when I come back, I usually start into either getting the kids breakfast and ready for school or working. But either way, after like 12, 1 o'clock in this 2 to 3 o'clock time frame, usually when you have your crash during the day, I started to get these horrible headaches. And in the first 30 days, I wasn't having that problem at all. Like I wasn't having afternoon headaches or anything like that. But these were like, I had to stop work and lie down, and just this pounding temple headache where everything was done. I didn't know if it was like an allergy headache or a stress headache or anything. And it was probably 12 days in, like 3 or 4 days ago, I walked up and I was cooking breakfast for the kids and getting them started in school and everything. And I grabbed my coffee mug and I realized I quit coffee. So 15 days ago at the beginning of the second 30-day period, I took coffee out of my diet. I don't recommend it. Don't go cold turkey. Man, like it was 2 weeks of headaches And if there's a better way to do it, I would probably think weaning off the caffeine addiction would be better. But yeah, so that's 100% what I'm going to attribute that to. Otherwise, with mental, the energy's been fine. I've been wanting to do things and energetic, and runs are fun, and the kids are good and entertaining. As far as that goes with mental, we'll go there too. Still have issues. I still have PTSD issues and weird dreams and shit like that. And I get up and down depression, and that I think is just part of people's lives. So I've heard people cure that on carnivore, but I've not had like any of that come through. So the physical part of it, I don't have any problems with like my guts or anything like that. Bowels, digestion and stuff. But what's really been interesting about it is I have things that are better that I didn't know were wrong. Like my fingers. I didn't realize how my fingers felt, and they were like molassesy, they were slow, and I guess that's kind of the arthritic descriptions that people talk about when they have rheumatoid arthritis, and that's all gone. Like my fingers feel good where I could play an instrument again, like saxophone or the piano, and they don't hurt when I'm typing and things like that. They're not inflamed is the word, really. I mean, all that inflammation is gone. I felt like I worked out really hard and should have been taking Motrin like like when I was doing Navy Special Operations, but that's all gone away. I have shoulder injuries and elbow injuries and things like that that still hurt. So I'm not saying it's this panacea cure-all, but it is interesting to see problems that I didn't know I had go away. So that's pretty cool. Besides that, the workouts are feeling easier and everything's great. And really one of those benefits is physically weight loss. Like I notice my pants are down a size. I notice my watch fits better. And I still have a lot to go, which is why I said maybe I was 80 pounds overweight. I think sometimes we don't realize all the places that we can store fat, that our body's storing fat. So that's a good part too of the physical part of it. All right, so that's the mental and the physical. And now I want to go into real quick, which is the meals. I wanted to make this as simple as possible. So my breakfast and lunches were meatballs with pretty much like a bone broth chili. What I would do is I would take a pound of lean ground and this pound of 45% fat ground with heart, and I would grill 2 of those up in a big stew pot like you're making chili. You brown it all off, but then I would just add in beef broth and everything to let that all start to soak in, and so it would be kind of like a soup topping for the meatballs. So basically the lunch and breakfast meals were meatballs and this broth. And then I would go to the butcher, and whatever he had on special for the week, I would buy, and I would try to make sure it was something bone in, like ribs or T-bone or ribeye with a bone or New York with bone in. Because then once the steaks were done, I'd take all those bones and boil that down, and that's where I'm getting my beef broth from. All right, so that's kind of what I've been eating for the last 2 weeks, and when I've been eating it is a simple schedule. As a driven high performer, I have my schedule set out for the week and tasks and everything that I'm going to do, and I don't like to interrupt those blocks of time. So I put my breakfasts at around 9 o'clock, 8:30 to 9, because that's when the kids have breakfast, so I would eat. And then I would do lunch at 12 and dinner at 4, and that way I could eat when the kids were eating. We could kind of keep on a family schedule with school breaks and everything like that. What I found was happening was at 9 o'clock I wasn't hungry in the mornings. So I'm going to probably change that up. I don't know how that's going to work because I think I need more to eat. Right now I'm probably only eating 1.5 pounds or so a day. I know that the recommendations are 2 to 4 pounds, but if you're getting your energy from fat and I probably still have an extra 40 pounds to lose, then my body's using that as the nutrition interim fill-in. If I lost all that fat and was skinnier, then I would definitely bump up my meals and make sure I was eating more. I'm not feeling lack of energy, lethargic, or anything like that, where I feel like I'm starving, I'm not hungry, I don't want a snack or anything like that. Like my body's adapted to it all. So what I really do love about it is the mental part though. With more focus, with having more drive, it's helping my business. I'm having more productivity, more creative time, and I'm back to actually absorbing books and things that I'm reading better. I don't know. I'm not going to say that that's from carnivore. I'm going to assume that that's mostly from cutting out alcohol and some other things like that, where there's probably some other toxins in my normal diet that were affecting me. But I'll bet you that the biggest one's just not drinking as much as I did. I still have memory and focus issues, but they're getting better. I'm not near where I used to be, and I think problems with that are the PTSD things that I'll never totally recover. I know I talk fast and say these things, but before I went into the military, I started studying theoretical physics. So my baseline is kind of different than most people's. So the last 15 days have been another roller coaster just due to the coffee withdrawals and things. I'm still going for that next 15 days to see exactly how this works out with the total 60-day span. Like I mentioned previously, I just don't think 30 days is enough for a body that was out of condition as bad as mine was to adjust. I know it's not physically and exercise-wise, so I'm going to keep going with it diet-wise, especially till I probably lose another 30 pounds and at least get back into that shape and physicality that I know I should be in as an average person at least. So staying out of the theoretical realm with it, with whether it's good or bad for animals, and if that's your thing, whatever, that's cool. But I was a 3-meal-a-day guy. I was an eat your veggies guy. And so it has been a weird change, but it's not that far-fetched. I don't see it as that damaging. Everything's going up and up. I know everybody wants, this blood test and that blood test, and I'm not going to get into those scientific parts of that and the theoretics there either, because we're just beginning to understand how the body works, and I think we're taking a lot of these tests out of context, and we don't exactly understand all the interdependencies between us. I mean, we have these hugely complex systems, and sure, we're testing and we're trying to learn more, but I don't think we exactly know what we're doing yet. So it's hard to say. And I do think that a lot of the testing is being funded by certain interests. So I'm going to stick with eating whole foods and healthy foods, but definitely trying to use this carnivore at least for the next 15 days, for that total 60-day period, to be an elimination, to get rid of a lot of the things that have been obviously causing me problems, because my fingers feel great and my brains feel great. So totally, if you're in that high performance industry and you want that extra little kick, reset your body some. Like, use that 30 days and make some efficiencies in your life and your meals and everything, and save yourself a bunch of time and energy. This is great. I'm loving it. So thank you so much for listening. Go ahead and hit the likes and dislike buttons. I appreciate the feedback because it allows me to adjust exactly how I can present and help you. I've already helped myself. I'm doing it. And the reason I'm sharing this is so that other people can have the information and the ability to make value judgments based on what they want to do with their lives. As a physical high performer, moving back into wanting to be in that operator shape, 100% love it, man. If you were like a former NFL or Olympian or whatever, and you've taken some time off and you don't realize how much you've changed in a couple year period since doing all those workouts, I suggest you get back into it. You're really rapidly going to remember how awesome it feels and how good it feels to be performing at that high level physically. And if you're in business or doing anything else like that, it amplifies everything you're doing, and it's going to give you results on all fronts. So there will be other videos. There will be the notifications and subscriptions. I appreciate that. I'm going to continue the journey, and I'm going to continue trying to provide value. Thank you so much. God bless. Love you. Darnell out.